Okay, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. So we would like to give the webinar on accessing expertise, finding the people you need to talk to through our KE Hub Triage Workshop. Okay, so here is the agenda for today. So first, I will give an introduction to a KE Hub Triage Workshop. And then after that, Lauren will talk about format of triage workshop. And we also welcome Barry, who is from one of our BIG partners, will share his experience of triage workshop. And then Ujawa will talk about success stories from triage workshops. And finally, but very important, we still have time for Q&A. Okay, so before we begin, just a quick reminder about the code of conduct. We want this webinar to be respectful, inclusive, collaborative, and welcoming to everyone. Please keep a microphone muted during the session, and if possible, cameras on during the interactive discussion. Now, let me introduce the team members from the KE Hub side to normally taking care of the triage workshops. So my name is Dewey Zhou. I'm one of the super champions and co-lead of from the KE Hub. And myself is also a professor of statistics at Loughborough University. We also have Lauren Hinneman here. Lauren is the Knowledge Exchange Manager for the International Center for Mathematical Sciences. And we have Ujawa Bahara Waj. Ujawa is a business industry and government engagement manager from KE Hub. So what is a KE Hub Triage Workshop? So our triage workshop is interactive, expert-led, online, and designed to require relatively low commitment from participants. The idea is quite simple. Many organizations have important real-world challenges, but may not know which mathematical methods could help, what expertise exists in UK universities, or where to start. So the workshop creates a space to explore these questions collaboratively. BIG partner can access one free workshop every 12 months through the KE Hub. So the benefits for BIG partners, there are several benefits. So I mentioned them. I will mention them here. So first, the workshop helps organizations explore challenges where there may be uncertainty about possible approaches, methods. Second, it gives access to a very broad range of expertise across UK mathematical sciences. So current number, the KE Hub have 67 UK mathematical sciences department associated with us. And often organizations are surprised by the diversities of ideas, different perspectives, and unexpected approaches suggested by researchers from different disciplines. Another important benefit is that this is a relatively low-risk way to explore ideas before committing to, for example, larger projects or funding applications. So the workshops also help build long-term relationships and collaborations. So here I also would like to mention previous triage workshops. So far, we have successfully delivered over 30 workshops since March 2024. The topics have covered a very wide range of sectors and challenge areas. So I've listed some examples here for you to have a feeling. So, for example, recently we have Ministry of Justice came to our triage workshops talk about optimization of court listing for them. And we also have manufacturing scheduling with Johnson Matthey, and mathematical modeling with Syngenta, and reactor modeling with Alcom, and network efficiency problems with EasyJet. So what these examples show is that mathematical sciences can contribute to many different real-world problems. So I believe triage workshops will provide a good platform for our BIG partners if you have any real-world problems you want to see academics' opinions, suggestions. I would also like to share my opinions, what makes a good challenge, because I helped to organize over 30 triage workshops with Lauren and Ujawa. So for example, with a good triage workshop challenge usually focuses on a real problem rather than a predefined solution. So for example, instead of saying, I mean, if I'm a BIG partner, instead of saying we need a machine learning model, it is often better to say we want to improve, for example, prediction accuracy, or we want to better understand our system, and so on. So please, you can suggest something, but I think for the triage workshop, it's better to give academics freedom to let them to generate ideas for you. And good challenges are usually important, difficult, uncertain, or currently unsolved. That's why you need the platform to talk about your challenge. Another important point is that organizations should believe that mathematical sciences may help provide insights or solutions, even if they do not yet know exactly how. So I list some math topics here. They are very broadly put them here. So for example, applied mathematics, pure mathematics, operational research, statistics, AI and machine learning, optimization, fluid dynamics, network science, geometry, uncertainty quantification, and more, and a lot of, and so on. Okay, here are just some selections, give you some feeling about possible ideas our academics can help. Okay. So how to present the challenge? So I think when presenting a challenge, it is usually best to focus first on the practical context, why the problem matters, and what difficulties currently exist. BIG partners do not need to provide a fully detailed technical formulations at the start. It is also important to say that data do not need to be perfect, or information you provide don't need to be perfect. So in real-world settings, incomplete, noisy, sparse, or messy data are very common. So our researchers are used to working with this kind of situations. So you don't need to worry about that. So what kind of outcomes can happen? The immediate outcome of a workshop is not necessarily to solve the whole problem perfectly. Instead, workshops often help clarify the challenge, identify possible approaches, and generate new perspectives. For long-term outcomes, may include feasibility studies, collaborative projects, consultancy, students' projects, internship, or funding applications. Some workshops lead to substantial longer-term collaborations. Others simply help organizations better understand the problem space. I think both are variable outcomes. So what is KE Hub's role in triage workshops? So KE Hub acts as a bridge between the BIG partners and academics. Our role is first to help scope and refine challenge problems, bring together interdisciplinary expertise. So these 2 points normally covered by the team during the pre-workshop meetings, multiple meetings, and through emails. Email exchanges. And then during the workshops, we organize, of course, facilitate the workshop sessions. We create an open and collaborative discussion environment so people are welcome to give their suggestions, ask questions, support exploration of possible approaches and opportunities, and we encourage knowledge exchange and future collaborations. So these 4 points normally we do that during the triage workshops, and after the triage workshop, we contribute to support. We contribute to signpost possible next steps, funding, or follow-on activities. Lauren will talk more about the format of triage workshops later on during her part. So I also would like to emphasize that we remain independent without making any decision on behalf of BIG partners or academics or relative corresponding universities. We are here to act as a bridge. Okay, so thank you. That is my experience and my opinions I would like to share with you. And now let me hand it over to Lauren to talk about more details about the triage workshop.
Okay, so I'm going to just talk about the more organisational steps towards the triage workshops and what's involved before, during, and then after. So the first step towards taking part in a triage workshop is to indicate your interest in participating. Usually you do this by speaking to Ujwal, or you can contact the KE Hub at any time. Then once we know you're interested, you'll be passed over to Dewey and myself, who will organise a pre-workshop meeting with you. So I'll talk a bit about that in a second. We then need to advertise the workshop, so we ask for some information from you for that. Then comes the workshop itself, and then there's a follow-up process as well afterwards, which I'll explain as well. So I can go to the next slide. In the pre-workshop meeting, we usually have, as soon as you've indicated your interest, we'll arrange this with you. We usually speak for about an hour. We can have multiple of these meetings as required. Here we just try and prepare you for what to expect in the workshop and to help you deliver your presentation. So we go through the aims and the purpose of the triage workshop. So the triage workshop aims to answer these 3 questions here. The first one is, can maths be used to help address your challenge, and if so, what approaches? The second question is, are there academics who would like to take on this challenge and work with you to solve it? And then what mechanisms would be most appropriate for taking things forward? So hopefully the triage workshop can help identify some answers to these questions. We then go through the format of the triage workshops, which I'll just explain here. So the triage workshops take place fortnightly on Friday mornings from 10 o'clock until 11:30. The first hour from 10 until 11 is where you present your presentation of your challenge. Rather than having a formal presentation followed by questions, as Dewey said, we try and create an interactive, informal and relaxed atmosphere where we encourage interruptions throughout for people to ask questions, ask for clarifications, just to promote discussion. We then take a really quick break for a few minutes just so people can go to the bathroom, stretch their legs, grab a drink. And then when they come back refreshed after a few minutes, we have the second part of the session from 11 till 11:30, where anybody who might be interested in collaborating with you will stay behind to discuss things in more detail and ask more questions. In the pre-workshop meeting, we'll also discuss with you your challenge content, and we offer advice on preparing your presentation. So the kinds of things that Dewey just previously spoke about, but we'll tailor it to your specific situation. And then we also explain what happens after the workshops. So after we've done all that, we just really need to advertise and prepare for the workshop. So typically we advertise Triage Workshop 2 weeks in advance. And we do this by publishing the title and a short description of your challenge on the KE Hub Triage Workshop webpage. So this information will be publicly available. However, the Teams link for joining the call is sent directly within the KE Hub network to their KE champions and KE professionals. So the audience of your triage workshop is made up of academics from the mathematical sciences departments that are part of the KE Hub's community. So for this, what we need from you is just a title and a short description of your challenge as soon as it's ready, but at least 2 weeks before, so we can put it on the website and advertise it to generate interest in your workshop. And then we also ask you to send us a copy of your presentation slides, ideally a week before the workshop. We don't share these with anyone in advance. It's really just so that we can provide feedback and suggestions. Because we've done quite a lot of these workshops, we know the kinds of things that people might ask, so we can ask you maybe to add in some extra information that we think people might need to know, just to help prepare you as best as possible for the workshop. Then this slide just covers the follow-up process. So once the triage workshop's taken place, at the very end, we will ask anyone who's still in the call if they would like to collaborate with you and if they would like to be involved in follow-up. So these academics will indicate their interest in staying in touch with you, and then after the workshop, one of us will send a follow-up email to connect you with these academics, so you all have each other's contact information and can start to have further discussions. In the follow-up email, we also ask academics to submit a short proposal with their ideas for how they might see the project taking shape, and we give them 2 weeks to submit this. So this is really just so that the academics can focus their minds, write something down on paper for you to read through. We ask them to provide a description of their expertise and how they have interpreted your challenge, which is important for you to understand that they have understood what you are asking them to do. They'll also suggest different approaches for how they might tackle the challenge and give an indication of how long this might take and how much it might cost. Then, so we will collate these proposals and then send them to you for review, and then you can proceed directly with any proposals that you wish to take forward. But we ask that after this, you keep in touch with Ujwal and keep the KE Hub up to date on any downstream action or activities. So I think now I'm passing over to Barry, who's going to talk about his experience of taking part in a workshop. Barry's mic, your mic's still muted.
Yeah, can you hear now?
Yep, thank you.
Yeah. I should first of all say I'm a very small big partner. That's very different to the Johnson Matthey's of this world and the ONS. So we're a small company. We've spun out other small tech companies from it. We work with even smaller things, photons. We're called photon engineers, but we do work with the British government on optical wireless communications, for instance, things like that. So we did a workshop a year ago, and I hope the fact that I did another one this month is testament to how effective I think they are. The first one has led to a small funded project, postgrad project, following a series of excellent online and in-person meetings. In fact, with eminent mathematicians. We were very privileged to have amongst us a fellow of the Royal Society helping formulate the challenge. Focus the challenge. With their vast experience, they helped greatly focus on my original, which was a more conceptual challenge, in geometrical optics, in fact, for handling the photons, to a very specific one that they envisaged they could provide the mathematical tools to address. So I think that's the focusing that was being mentioned earlier. I think that was an example of something that really honed it down to a very tight focus that could be solved mathematically. The ongoing collaboration also is envisaged. The interest that it sparked with these academics seems like it will continue indefinitely. So I'm very pleased with that result of the triage workshop as well. the specific project. Now, the triage team, in my experience, have been very caring in terms of ensuring that we, first of all, expressed the challenge in a way that would encourage people to attend the workshop. That was the first thing, and then taking the preparation for the workshops carefully through, and then the follow-ups. Again, they've been very caring. So I'm very grateful to that. But I would like to add a philosophical point of my own, and that is that I actually believe that what the triage team are trying to do is of fundamental importance and is yet not done very widely. I think the idea that we can combine those who have a passion to know, the academics, with those who have a passion to do, like the producers, and produce something, a sort of know-how that is really of value to us all, I think is very important. I think the way of doing this is far better than, more effective in my experience, and I've had quite a bit of experience of university spin-outs. I've spun them out from several universities, and I think that there's a real problem in trying to make academics into entrepreneurs or producers, and the passion is for knowing, not for doing often. And if they're doers, then that's fine. But normally they're not. And so I think what the Triage Workshop is trying to do is of fundamental importance for our future, that there is a possibility of really bringing the best academics, the most suitable, I should say, academics for a particular challenge to a producer. And I think in terms of production, because I'm a manufacturer, essentially a manufacturer and product designer of real world challenges that could help. And I think that fusion is really important, and facilitating that fusion is of the utmost importance. So that's where I'm coming from. I hope that expresses what I hope will be the future of the triage workshops.
Thank you for your kind words, Barry. I think I'm next, so let me share my slides with you. Can you see my slides?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was great. Thanks for sharing your experience with us, Barry. We have a few testimonials on our website. Let me just. Yeah. Okay. I won't read through all the testimonials and success stories, but what I'll mention are certain consistent themes that have emerged basically on how the workshops deliver impact to business, industry, and government partners of the KE Hub. So the first key point, and this was touched upon by Barry as well, improved problem definition. So many companies found the very process of preparing for the workshop with the support of KE professionals transformative in itself. So participants had to translate their problem into a clear, structured form, often revealing new ways to break it down. As BT, one of the triage workshop participants, have noted, reformulating a technical challenge made it accessible to new perspectives. While the Access Group, another triage workshop participant, highlighted how it helped break problems into manageable chunks. The other key theme is how a triage workshop unlocks creative thinking. So companies consistently reported being introduced to approaches that they hadn't previously considered. So Veronex and BT both emphasized how discussions surfaced in very unexpected ways in terms of tackling their challenges. Likewise, another triage workshop participant, Maple Education, described being blown away after months of internal efforts failed to crack their problem. The third point there is rapid access. So this is where triage workshops bring together experts from multiple universities in single sessions. So both EasyJet and Moody's have highlighted how this breadth provided access to cutting-edge expertise and latest research in relation to their challenges. Sopra Steria and Edinburgh Airport have stressed the value of connecting with the wider academic community via the triage workshops. The next key theme that emerged from the testimonials that we have there is that these KE triage workshops act as catalysts. So there are tangible outcomes and collaboration opportunities following triage sessions. So beyond discussion, the workshops lead to real next steps. Companies often receive multiple follow-up proposals, and there is, as Barry mentioned, ongoing relationships and continued value even beyond the immediate project. The next key theme that emerged is companies leave with a clearer sense of direction and a stronger confidence in the next steps. So Moody's have mentioned they gained assurance that they were building on state-of-the-art research. The Access Group noted improved confidence in their own understanding and approach. There is a link to the web page where these testimonials are located. In summary, from across sectors, from aviation and telecoms to education and analytics, triage workshops turn unclear, difficult challenges into structured opportunities. They connect companies with the right expertise quickly. They generate ideas, collaborations, and momentum. They help reframe challenges, enrich them with expert insight, and turn them into collaborations. So Lauren has mentioned the steps towards a triage workshop, and reiterating a few of the points that she has mentioned before. Indicate your interest in the regular partnership meetings that we have. In any case, feel free to contact me anytime or the KE Hub team at the email addresses provided there. Also, please do consider links with other KE Hub offerings. So, for example, there's a short project schemes that's ongoing, or the micro projects for micro SMEs schemes that can effectively act as downstream activities to a triage workshop. So please consider these other offerings that the KE Hub have. Of course, in my meeting with you, I will reiterate these points as well. Something to remember that these downstream activities have a time scale of their own, so it's nice to get the ducks in a row. Apart from that, I think I have nothing else to mention except that thank you for watching this. Thank you for attending this webinar, and please do keep in touch. Thank you. If you have any questions, happy to take them now.
Okay, so if you would like to present your challenge in one of our future triage workshops, please get in touch with us. Okay, so Ujawa's, Ujawa's email address. Normally, Ujawa is the first person you need to talk to. Then he will direct you to me and Lauren.
These slides are being recorded. The session, a recording of the session will be on the KE Hub website under the triage web page. So, but feel free to contact me if you have any queries anytime. Would be happy to help you. Thank you again to the panel. Thank you, Barry, for your insights on the triage experience. Thank you very much. Much appreciated that.
Thank you, Barry. Hopefully we can see positive outcome from your second triage workshop.
Yeah, I think that's another point that I think Barry mentioned is just key, that some of these impact, they actually take, they go beyond the immediate, beyond the short term. So yeah, thank you for your insights, Barry. Thank you.